Hi fans, it is June 20th. It's 1 o'clock a.m. I just wanted to follow up my last video, with another video, and I wanted to explain how I see boxing versus how most people see it. I think when most people look at Manny Pacquiao, they look at him not at a time when he was vulnerable, but at a time when he appears very strong. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the fight with Oscar De La Hoya, um, he fought Oscar at a weight where Oscar was drawn, dehydrated. Oscar wasn't himself. Oscar wasn't the Oscar that Floyd Mayweather fought. So a lot of people try to compare that and say he looked better against Oscar than Floyd looked better against Oscar. But Floyd came up to 154 to fight Oscar. Uh, Manny had him drop down to 147. Now, the reason that the Shane fight didn't materialize is because they wanted to fight Shane at a catch weight of 142 pounds. Not even at 147, because they know that Shane is very strong there. And they didn't want to give him the advantage. Now, I have that on video. If you go through my favorites, you can actually watch that video, and you can watch Freddie Roach, the coach of Pacquiao himself, say exactly that. Um, how I see boxing is all about technique. It's not always about size. It's not always about speed. It's about timing and technique. I think what makes Floyd's gift unusual is that Floyd is his reflexes going forward and backing up are almost the same. Now, a lot of fighters have great forward reflexes. They can launch in and they can hit, they can move side to side, but they take punishment. Floyd has the ability to go in, dish out punishment, and get back out. In a video I have, it was described perfectly by Oscar De La Hoya. Now, this is what Oscar says. Oscar says, Floyd's very tricky, and let me tell you why. He says, when you think you have Floyd, you go in for the shot, just to realize that Floyd is no longer there. Now, when you realize what's going on, now you realize at the same time Floyd has you exactly where he wants you. And that's when he goes in for the kill. I think that describes it perfectly. I think that, a lot of people are caught up in the emotion of Floyd Mayweather and don't like Floyd Mayweather as a person, while overlooking his ability as a fighter. I think Floyd is one of the best welterweights of this generation. I don't think we'll ever see a better welterweight than him. I just don't think it's going to happen. Not in my lifetime. Now, I could live another, 40 years, and I still don't think that I'll see it. I could live another 50 years. I still don't think that I'll see it. I think Floyd's an extraordinary fighter. I think anybody that fails to realize that just wants Floyd to lose, but has no valid reason as to why they really think that he'll lose. And that's the difference. So, people, when you look at fighting, or when you're betting money, or, you're betting anything, I think that you should bet with your head and not with your heart. Again, I explained that time and time again. I even wrote to a guy, I said, I want the Celtics to win, but I think the Lakers will win. I want the Celtics to win, but I know that the Lakers will. I mean, there's a big difference between my wants and my needs. You know what I mean? And my parents used to always tell me that when I was growing up. So, I feel like it applies now. The same things hold true. I think that Floyd is one of the most well-rounded fighters out there in his weight class. Can I compare him to Ali or anybody else? No. It would be ridiculous to do that. He's not in the same class. But I think in 147 or at 147, he's one of the best. At 130, he was one of the best. When he was climbing up through the ranks, he was one of the best. You know, um, and if you look at the facts, if you look at his training regimen, if you look at his trainers and his long list of fighting heritage, um, it's in his blood. His uncle, his father, they've trained a lot of great champions, and they've put a lot or invested a lot in Floyd, and that's the reason why Floyd's as good as he is. Not to mention, his father has said in a video also, a commentator asked, "What makes Floyd better than you or Roger throughout your careers?" And he said, plain and simple, you don't have to make him train. He was like, you couldn't keep me in a gym for 8 hours. He's like, if you could get me in a gym for 1 or 2, 3 hours, you were doing something. He was like, he's the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. He used the word dedication. And that is pure dedication, plain and simple. So, people, watch that. Absorb that, understand that, read that, see that. Whatever it is that you have to do to come to the realization that he is a great fighter. F all the cars and the big boy mansion and the jewelry and the flashy side of Floyd Mayweather. In the ring, as a fighter, he's one of the best that I've ever seen. Period. Technical wise, I don't know of anybody that was as good. Now, there's been some fighters out there, they say were great defensively, but didn't have many other tools. Sweet Pea was a good defensive fighter. He was hard to hit, but he got hit. Didn't have great punching power, was fast, but didn't really know how to utilize it like Floyd knows how to utilize it. Floyd sees things in the ring that sets him apart from even those fighters. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson. People call Pretty Boy Floyd pretty because he leaves the fight like he came in, unscathed. No marks, no swelling. If you never got that, then I don't know what to say about you. But, Floyd is an extraordinary fighter, period. I recognize that. I don't pay attention to all the 24/7 antics and, all the flashy stuff that, I see on YouTube, with the garage and all the cars and the Maybach and the SLR and the Murcielago. All that I don't care about. I just care about his performances in the ring. And if you watch any of his training videos, his workout videos, and what people have to say, former trainers, people that have, kind of stood in and helped him work when he's, had some problems with his father, or, maybe Roger was too busy or wasn't around at certain points in his career, they will tell you that nobody outworks him in the gym, that he practically kills himself in the gym. What he does would be training for a lot of fighters, period. There's no question about that. I think that even in the Hatton fight that showed, I think Floyd Sr. made the mistake of training Ricky too hard. Floyd lives a lifestyle. He always maintains a weight probably no more than 150, so he never has to drop more than 3 pounds. He stays in fight condition all the time, and that's a benefit for him. He lives that lifestyle. Unlike Ricky Hatton, who will gain 40, 50 pounds in between fights and has to lose that. That's very draining. It's very taxing on your body, especially when you get older. Floyd doesn't do that. That's the difference. So understand, people, why he is an extraordinary fighter. He does all the right things. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He has fun, but he has clean fun. And that concludes my video. So again, anybody else has any comments, wants to talk about boxing, any aspect of boxing outside of Floyd Mayweather, anything that I have to add to anything, I will. Anything that I don't know about, that I can be taught, I'll listen. I have no issues. This is friendly conversations with boxing fans, and that pretty much is it. So enjoy your night. I'm going to bed, and I guess I'll be talking to you guys soon.